Right? Chuma. Thank you so much, my good sir. I think firstly, let me apologize with the greatest respect. I think I messed up the program and I thought let me just steal 30 seconds for a bathroom break. I sincerely apologize for that. I hope you won't take away my jollof rice. Okay? So sincere apologies. But my name is Chuma Memela. I like to describe myself as a half human and a half robot, given that I'm extremely passionate about artificial intelligence. I run a company that is called Genius AI, and we are in the business of AI consulting, AI training, and AI automations. I'm passionate about artificial intelligence and how this technology can be used, more specifically within businesses. I'm pretty sure we have all used ChatGPT, unless if you live under a rock. I do believe that we've made use of ChatGPT by now, given that it's almost 3 years since it has been launched. And that's one of the tools that I think is the most powerful tools in today's time. But over and above that, the skill of prompt engineering. And I know that's a big term, but really prompt engineering is just how you engage with all AI tools. It is just a communication method. And that is the most powerful skill that you can learn today. And that's one of the skills that I teach to the entrepreneurs and the organizations that I work with. But I'm looking forward to engaging with you guys today. I know Nigerians to be quite colorful and lively people. So I'm looking forward to having the energy levels quite up as we proceed. One thing that we have to be honest about as an African continent, right, is the fact that over with the previous technological revolutions, we have always been left behind, right? Whether it was the introduction of electricity, steam, or you name it, right? Even the fourth industrial revolution now, I know there are a lot of bright minds in Nigeria, but they are not in Nigeria. That talent is generally poached. Yeah. I think one of the highest paid robotics professional is a Nigerian guy, but where is he, right? So as Africans, we are being presented with an opportunity here to actually compete with the rest of the globe. And this new technology, no one is an expert with 30 years of experience in this field. And what does this mean for us Africans is that we are getting a clean slate, right? And I think one thing that I appreciate about artificial intelligence is that it's very much like electricity. With electricity, you can plug in the projector, the cell phone, the microphone, and so forth, right? And the same is true with artificial intelligence. Here we've got marketing professionals, we've got chefs, we've got people like myself who are in the consulting space, we've got actors, right? And all of these different fields are able to leverage this technology, which is called AI. And if we don't take advantage of that as African people, more especially young people, given that we are the youngest continent, right? We are the continent with the most amount of young people, then we stand the chance of being left behind once again. And this is where we will just repeat the cycle of consuming these technologies instead of actually producing them. So I think it becomes very pivotal and very critical that as Africans we do embrace these technologies, more especially if we really do believe or have this vision of us actually competing on a global scale and having this African renaissance that we speak about. Thank you so much. So much for the question. Very well dressed, I must say. Yeah. If you can find yourself a pair of shorts and maybe I can take home the suit, I won't complain. Very deep question, I must say. As you are asking the question, I was really thinking back in my mind to say, what was the defining moment? But no surprise, given that you are an intellectual and an academic, you want to expose us here. But you want to test the intellectual capacity of these speakers that are here today, which is fine. I think for me, the defining moment has to be 2023, right? And maybe let me give a little bit of context. I'll try and be very short. So I went to university, of course. We are all born by African parents, and even if you are the next Lionel Messi, they'll still tell you to go to university. Right? And I mean, look, there are good reasons for that, right? So I went to university back in 2015. I did 2 years in a BSc dietetics degree there. Before I dropped out, I was like chef at the hospitals, and then I said, hey, I like to eat, not to cook. So I would sit out for about 2 years. I worked for about 6 months, and then I went back to school and I studied economics and information systems, and I did incredibly well. I finished with 23 distinctions and a cum laude. I went and did my honors, and I finished top of my class, and then I went into lecturing, right, at a university. And during that time when I was lecturing, of course, I had pursued information systems as my second major for my honors. And I said, okay, I'm doing this, I'm really in love with this field of tech, and this is coming from someone who had convinced themselves that they are not particularly good with technology, but with recognizing where the world was going, rather, recognizing that everything is being infused with technology, I had taken that leap of faith. So as I was in that lecturing job, the contract abruptly ended, and we were told the contracts wouldn't be renewed. Now, one thing we share in common as South Africa and Nigeria is that we've got a high number of unemployment in the country, more especially amongst young people. But I said to myself that I would not be a statistic. And I think for me, that was my defining moment, because I had always been an entrepreneur, but you know, as when you're starting out in business, you want to hold on to this job, but you also want to push this business, and sometimes you must just take the jump and build the wings while you're on the way down. And for me, you know, it wasn't, I didn't take that jump. I was kicked out of the plane, and they said, hey, learn to fly. Right? So I think that year for me was quite a defining one, more especially I remember having printed out 50 CVs to go and submit for lecturing jobs. Wow. and other jobs within the economic space, and I remember one recruiting company wrote me an email because I applied 3 times, and they said I should stop harassing them. So I still have a good 30-something of those CVs, because it is on that day where I said, I am done with this. Okay? I'm not going through that again. So thank you so much, Tom.